Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SP Originals, where today I'm sitting on a chair discussing a topic and that's totally original. And the topic that we're going to be discussing today is how do you create useful YouTube content in 2026, because we are absolutely inundated with things to watch, not just through the algorithm itself, but if you were to look at the total amassed amount of YouTube content that has become available ever since YouTube was started, it's just too much. No one could ever watch that much content. And I think for anyone that has got a current YouTube channel or that is starting one, it's just vital, it is integral to understand exactly how we would sort of find success. And before we get into it, just to preface it, I'm not saying that I am a successful YouTuber, okay? I've still got a lot of things to learn. I want to make all of my videos actually useful and helpful. I've been thinking about the difference between content and slop, where, you know, content is, content can technically be slop, but I like to see more like content marketing, I suppose, but also just art, you know, just people doing artistic things or creative things with the audiovisual, you know, medium. They're making videos that people want to watch that are either helpful or just genuinely entertaining, that aren't disingenuous, that are honest, they're authentic, they're fun, they're silly, they're useful bits of content. And I know that it is so subjective, because there is stuff that people will call slop and there'll be people that find value in that. But I mean, like, if you were to take the average opinion of people just looking at what a video is, you know, there is a range from like videos where the person's discussing something and it is game-changing, incredibly impactful for people. And then there is someone copy and pasting another sort of like copied culmination of all these different reactions to a video, which, to be fair, can be helpful, I suppose, if you want to see all the different reaction channels coming together on something. Or maybe someone reposting. There you go. Slop is someone reposting something without sort of like approval or consent, and they are just using that one material without their consent, and it just causes issues there because it's just copying stuff for no need. So I think if we were to talk about what makes a good YouTube channel, I think it's videos. There are things that, just like all things in life, it's something that people get value from. And let's just maybe just assume that the purpose of a video, outside of our own enjoyment as people who make things, is to connect to, well, not even to connect, because it sounds so corporate, but you want someone who's watching it to, for example, not be distracted by audio issues or, you know, visual issues or weird kind of quirks or distractions in terms of the editing of it. The way that you phrase things or discuss things is also incredibly important.
You want to be careful about how you communicate.
I think you also want to be consistent with how you present yourself to an extent. Either you're going to be completely chaotic and different every single time, simply because that's just the state of human beings in general. We are not robots, we're not automatons, we have variation. Or, you know, you're someone who is very, again, brand minded. It's very sort of like palette friendly, and when people go to your channel, they know what they're going to get every single time. There are channels that succeed in each of these. There are mix-ups, and often people will now just set up a different channel or something along those lines. And I think that that's sensible. I think that that's incredibly sensible in the grand scheme of things, primarily because the last thing we want when we're making a YouTube channel and uploading videos, especially if we're making it so that other people will watch it, is for people to not care, because that's the cardinal sin. You can either make a living off of making people, you know, positive interactions with what you do, or you can upset people and rage bait them into checking out your stuff as well. Both of them work. Some of them work egregiously well. It really depends on your conscience and whether or not you sleep at night, or if you can do so regardless of the situation you're in. I even begrudgingly have to admit that there's content I have watched even when I haven't necessarily liked the creator, which I'll show on the screen right now, in case someone's watching this and isn't looking at the video, they're just listening to the audio as they do stuff. I don't want to advertise them further because I want to make a video of them. But again, it's an example of me understanding that with what I do, which is music, I need to talk about that topic on a separate channel, which is why eventually I will be setting up a different channel to discuss more sort of rounded topics, as I've been watching a lot of essays recently, and I understand that that is not an original thing. It's just more of an interest for me. I want to explore different topics in my own time, and I understand that you shouldn't be putting everything onto your company page anyways. Because that's what I realized, is that you have to simultaneously, when you are the owner and operator of a company, Spiderhands Productions like I am, you've got to understand that you are not just the person on the camera. You're representing the experience that people will have with what you do. And for me personally in 2026, I've come to understand, after taking some time to reflect, that I haven't really known what I've been doing with this channel for quite a while. I think that I now kind of understand that I've missed the vital truth of a lot of this, which is simply to make things that matter, and not in a kind of fluffy, airy-fairy, stars and unicorns and stuff. I mean, genuinely, it's time for me to, as the kids say, because I feel like I'm becoming unk nowadays, to lock in. It's time to lock in and actually seriously consider if I'm going to put something up on YouTube, whether it is worth someone's time. So I'm going to go through the list of things that I do on YouTube, which ones I want to bring in, what I might be changing, but just so that people can sort of understand where I am moving forward. But also for people who are sort of maybe looking to set up a channel and want to learn from someone who has made mistakes and wants to, fix things and improve them, how they might be able to avoid those situations. So at the moment, I do quite a few different things on the channel. They're all music related, with the exception of SP Originals, which, to be honest, has been mismanaged on my part. I don't always talk about musical things on my channel. I should be talking about musical things on the channel all the time, because when people come to this page, it is a music channel. So from now on, any SP Originals stuff that I make will explicitly or expressly be in relation to a question that I want to ask and how I'm going to approach answering that. So for example, today's video is how do you create useful YouTube content in 2026? I think I've established, even if it's kind of in a half-baked manner, at least up until this point, that if you create content that you aren't sure for certain will benefit someone, you have far less of a chance of succeeding, because you're gambling on people liking you enough to sort of sit there, watch you figure out what you're doing, or that people watch you specifically for you to watch how you interact with them. There are people that are that charismatic and likable on YouTube, but I don't think I'm one of those people, and I'm okay with that. I'm getting older. I accept my limitations in terms of how I come across. My strengths as a person come from, I think, what I can do. For example, with the half a dozen instruments that I teach, the dozen instruments that I play, the fact that I can record and perform and write music and produce and all these other things. The fact that I'm looking to get into further production, as well as, with the new house I have, looking to get into instrument repairs and even luthiering at some point, working with more things. And I also want to get into game dev design, though that's not directly relevant, but my musical background will allow me to be able to more easily make a game, as long as I can figure out the fundamentals of how to do game design. Even if I need to bring other people in, at least you've got a chance when you can write music. You just look at Toby Fox. But yeah, if there's an SP Originals, it's going to be talking about a specific topic, asking a question and answering it. And I've got another video where I want to discuss the way that we critique AI music that I've recorded and I wanted to edit, and it's going to be a longer video, but by the time I think it's a much better video than I've made recently. And I think it's a way of kind of meeting my needs of making my video essay content whilst directly still making it relevant to the channel. For example, if people come here through watching a review or like a reaction video or one of my old live streams or something like that, they can see me talking about a topic and understand more of my process, for example, as a music reviewer, if they are so curious about it. I think also because there has been more AI music that I've been sent to review recently, it'll provide my thoughts on AI music and kind of help people to understand the nuances associated there and the way that I feel about it. But with originals, we've spoken about that. With reaction videos, with the SP React, should I say, they're analyses. I still do the song analysis or EP analysis now, or, the analysis of the music that I'm sent through. But it's more reacting to what people send through. That's the kind of basis for that. For the review work, it's because I want to review it. And I think that what I need to establish at some point is I need to basically rejig the playlist maybe of all the stuff that I used to do, but it's going to be something I do over the Christmas holidays maybe, where basically people can see the content that I have done in SP reviews from my own volition versus stuff that people have sent through the reaction playlist. Granted, I don't think people are going back that far, but you know, I just think I'm going to need to redo that. Maybe, I don't know. It's going to take a long time to do that. But you know, regardless, that's a tale for another time. For now, we currently have our SP reviews, where it's stuff I want to review as of 2026. And as of, you know, this year, same 2026. The reaction channel is stuff that people send through to me. And it's just been a really busy year between January and February trying to get everything done. It's been really busy, but I'm thankful for that because, again, doing the paid reviews has allowed me to pay the mortgage on my house. You know, it's great. I can't complain. Really can't. And I'm thankful that a lot of it has been really good. Not all of it. Sometimes it's been a little bit difficult to sort of get through just because, again, some of the music's not been particularly interesting or exciting. And I know it's often not the human-made stuff, if I'm honest. And it seems like I'm biased towards AI music. Again, I'm going to make a video on my thoughts on that later on. I'll review AI music. I just want it to be good. Yeah, I want it to be interesting. So those are the SP reviews and reaction channels. The live streams are tricky because last weekend, basically, we had an issue where we had a few tracks come through for the fan requests, and the difficulty with that was they got blocked. The live stream got blocked. And what I found is that we just can't be doing real-time requests like that. I don't think we can, if they're going to interrupt the stream every time we put a song forward. I mean, I know the Beatles are classics, but I just think if you're thinking of sending through any kind of reactor or reviewer as in a live environment a Beatles track, they're going to get copyright blocked immediately. Let them have their copyright privileges. We just can't feature it. And to be fair, the Beatles don't need my promotion, you know, with the X amount of like 3 or 4 figure streams to be able to do that, you know. They don't need that at all. So the live streams are going to probably change. I'm still going to do the annual album live streams for the patrons that I work with via the Patreon page, and the SP Patron video is going to be the same. Just when I have people send through album review requests, you can just go to the Patreon and just get an album live review. Like, I get it that it's still expensive. It's $12 a month. But like for a 16-track album, that's at least $165. You're paying like $12 a month. That's 165 USD for me to review it outside of these. And if I was going with my usual rate of $20 per track off the single, it'd be $320. That 165 USD is a discount for my time, both in terms of reviewing and editing it. Plus, you're getting those song requests. So really, if you waited 3 months and then you got your live stream, you'd maybe spend like $48 US, but you save $150. That's okay though. So the patrons videos will keep going as it is. The live streams, I kind of want to get into more sort of music production stuff. I use Reaper for my digital audio workstation, and I find that Reaper is just so cool. It's just such a cool one. And I also want to get back into, you know, producing more music, more electronic music. And so I might just do that. Because I think as well, I want to show people that I can produce music. And I think the way to do that is to invite people to come along and just hang out. And I understand that for people, that might be less beneficial to them than the fan requests. So what I'm thinking as well is I might do 1 weekend per month where I just aggregate a randomized sort of set of picks from people, and then we can just try and do a live stream session with the understanding that if your track gets blocked, we're just moving on. We're just doing the next track, you know? That's just how it is. And I won't be reviewing that track, unfortunately, just because it's you know, it's just what it is. Like, I think the way to look at it is if the musician blocks your stuff on YouTube, they don't want us to listen to it. Therefore, I shouldn't even be reviewing their stuff. You know what I mean? And I think in a free request environment, that's reasonable. If you are paying me to review their music, I could send you the video privately, but like if you're wanting me to sort of do it for free, I want to kind of just move on to the next track. And I don't want to, especially if I haven't listened to the track in full because it got blocked halfway, it just doesn't seem fair to the track itself. So I think that would be how we'd do it. So I think that what we could hypothetically do with the live streams is do a thing where we do maybe like a couple of production live streams on and off. And then I add more variety to the YouTube channel. And then maybe if there isn't a Patreon album live stream, what we could do is I could review an album that I wanted to review. You know, because why not? Like, I really want to review Metallica's Lulu album with Lou Reed. I want to do that. In fact, with the SP reviews, there's just a whole bunch of tracks I want to get to. I've just felt so demotivated and burnt out recently. And a cardinal sin for me as a content creator is that I am open with how I feel about stuff, but people aren't here necessarily to hear me be tired about stuff. And I think that maybe I just have a look of sadness or resting bitch face or something, but people think I'm sad. Maybe I am and I don't know it, but like, I'm just getting through it, man. I'm just getting through it. Like everyone else is, I'm not special, I'm not throwing a pity party. Things are okay. And I think that's another kind of change this year, is that I want to be centered with the way that I communicate with things in general. I don't want to become elevated. I want to still be human, and I'll laugh or I'll get grumpy maybe, I want to be balanced and conserve my energy and just have like a sort of good time through being able to sort of like carry things more effectively. But moving on from that, live streams will be more varied, there'll be more range. And I want to make sure that when we have a live stream, it is uniquely beneficial. So people who need free song requests can get that there. There'll be a couple of production live streams for those people who want to learn how to do music production. Well, maybe we'll like to make a beat per session or something like that, something super chill. And then we can have an album live stream each month as well, of my choice. I think that I want to enjoy what I do with these live albums, and I need to review music I like. I need to really enjoy myself doing this. I want to have fun with music. I want to have a good time. That's live streams. The SB Records is still going to be there. I'm still going to produce music. I'll still put a single up when I do an album, because I make an annual album each year. I've made a couple of tracks from the third album. I'm done Volume 3. I put Mountain on the YouTube channel as the opening track. I really like that song. I think it's really cool. And the vocals are going to be more produced this year. That was feedback I got in it. I have looked into that and I've kind of cleaned up things a little bit. Sounds a bit better, because we're always learning. But I think that's part of it as well. I think that as someone who plays, guitar, drums, bass, ukulele, and piano, as well as a whole bunch of other instruments that feature in these albums, I find that I don't really find many opportunities to really sit down and make my own production stuff, my own songs. Granted, with the music students that I work with, I've been doing a lot more production this year. And once we do the final bits of adjustments and additions to the house that we bought, I look forward to doing more recording to the extent that I'm hoping it'll be acoustically insulated enough to be able to record on Sunday mornings without anyone hearing it. That's how quiet I want it to be. Wall insulation, changed doors, like the underfloor, windows, everything is going to be done so that it's just like a tomb, dude. I want that negative 80 decibel noise floor. I've already got a negative 64, which is great, but I want 80. I want it quiet, brother. I want it quiet. But yeah, records will continue. I'm trying to figure out if I've kind of missed anything. Discographies is like a later on deal. I'll talk about shorts first. So shorts are effectively going to be song tutorials for a minute, because I want to sort of look at my Instagram, my TikTok, and my YouTube shorts, and I want to make short, savvy, simple videos where I teach people how to play instruments. That's what I want. I want to teach people how to play songs, and maybe I can do 1 or 2 of those a week, Mondays and Thursdays. And so whenever you come onto the TikTok, you see a YouTube short or you see an Instagram reel, it'll be that easy, super simple, super easy content. Maybe do like a Wednesday video from the studio, something cool that we're up to, just so people can see stuff. But that'll be Instagram exclusive anyways. But I want to provide people with interesting stuff when they come to the channel. I don't want it to be forced and kind of, So yeah, those will be shorts. And then discography ones will be a later on thing. I still want to do more entire band discographies, but there's so much work. And I just think I'm probably going to take the year off from those and maybe approach them next year. The Zhang Yuxing one that I did was like huge. It was amazing, but it took so much work and it's exhausting. And I want to, because you got to also keep a consistent level of quality. And I mean, there was stuff I wanted to do differently with that to make it better as well. But yeah, effectively, it's just got to be done a bit more sort of like, I'd be a bit more sort of balanced with it, I think. But that's effectively what I want to do with the YouTube channel in 2026. I think that will be a good sort of like mutually beneficial situation for everyone, both people that come to the channel, people who have subscribed, or people that, or me. Also for students that I work with. So people can, for example, that I work with can see that I can record, they can see that I can produce, they can see that I can play the instruments. They know from me talking about tracks that I also understand music theory and composition and have a good understanding and sort of, I'm good with that. And then that's it. That's it effectively. And it's going to be changing effective probably as of March. We're not going to say anything more about the schedule because I'm not going to commit to a schedule, really. I want to be careful about that because, you know, again, I'm still dealing with burnout, and I don't want to make stuff if it's not good for people, or if I'm not vibing with it. And so I just hope the outcome of all of this stuff will be if I can keep it up for like a few months, and maybe we can get to the end of the year, and maybe we'll just try and have like a big old 6-hour live stream again, fan request before Christmas. I think that'd be nice. Or maybe I'll just like do 20 tracks instead of 10 or something, I don't know. But the thing for me, the most important outcome for me will be that when I upload a video, it's meaningful to someone. That someone watches it and they go, yeah, it's good, because I'm doing it because I want to. So when I sort of make a video, I want someone else to care about it. And if more than one person cares about it, it's good. Like with the shorts that I did, they've got a few thousand views each. And I just think that if I'm more consistent with it and people build expectations, it's going to be good. In terms of where YouTube will go, getting back to a more sort of like generalized overview of things, I think that YouTube is, you know, we've got live streams, videos, and shorts. And shorts are clearly successful. They're dopamine sinks. People love their shorts. You never know what you're going to get. Similar to TikTok. Shorts are a good way to build a following if you know you want to build your following off of shorts. If you can kind of, if your shorts can get people into your longer form content, like they're a part of your longer form content, then you're in. Basically, you've got a pipeline to get people into your bigger videos. And live streams are just a great way also to build as well. So for example, a common sense way of approaching a channel would be that you could live stream your initial sort of discussion that you're having with people, edit that live stream into a video, and use edits from that live stream or video into shorts. And then you've got like one bit of content for 3 things as opposed to having to record 3 different things. That's just a very sensible way to do things. I think that's the optimized way to do it. That, or you simply niche yourself in a particular set. You make a kind of video so that people know what they're getting every single time, and you just if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then maybe you set up another channel because of how YouTube is with this is a this thing or this is a that thing, and the algorithm will say it's this. Effectively, that's my video on how do you create useful YouTube content in 2026. I think that I've discussed it. I think I've answered the question. I just think that you have to be mindful that of your audience, the kind of audience you want and what you're trying to build. And if you have an established following, and especially if it's quieter like my channel is, you've got to think, why is that? Is it me? Is it the visual experience? Is it the audio experience? Or is it like an oversaturation of things? Or is it that they're not wanting more of what you've got to offer? Or are they even aware that you exist still and you're buried in the algorithm? No one knows, but I think it's such a kind of a bitchy way. It's how do I say this? When people say that it's the algorithm hiding their content, I think that if people wanted to find your stuff, they'd do so. I think that if your stuff is good enough, people will seek you out. I just think it's a cope to say that it's the algorithm's fault to a certain extent. There are situations clearly where YouTube has people have just gone unsubscribed, or that they've not been notified of channel because of YouTube channels. I'm not saying that when people say that it's false. It's clearly not. But I think if you have never had an audience and you're saying that YouTube is burying you, it just could well be because you don't have people who are trying to find you yet. And the thing that I think of whenever I look at my channel, I think, man, you know, I wish things were better. I have the 100K Bilibili thing on my windowsill over there. You know, I got 100,000 fans on Bilibili. So there's clearly an audience depending on what you are, who you are, what you're offering. And you just gotta find it. But anyways, stay cool, Shredders. Spiderhands out.